Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, aliens, whatever you are, wherever you may be, we love you. Thank you for joining us. I am Kuya P, and I'm joined by the one, the only Heather Hurt from New Release Wednesday, our comic side of the house, talking about another amazing series that we love. We love doing these Disney Marvel conversations, and of course, we gushed about She-Hulk episode 1. So we're going to talk about episode 2. We're going to talk about all the She-Hulks. She-Hulk Attorney at Law. We have episode 2, which is titled Superhuman Law. We're going to let you know our feelings on it. We're going to break down the story a little bit, talk about the characters, and then just give you our thoughts. So Heather, are you ready to talk about She-Hulk Attorney at Law?
Sure. Why not?
Let's do it. I'm excited.
Okay. So episodes. We start out with Jen has just lost her job at her law firm where she literally just made partner. And she's kind of in that place that we're all in when we're unemployed but actively looking. We're there's a depressed part of us. But she has an added layer of now people know that she is the She-Hulk, and that is the exact reason that she, one, can't get a job, and two, why she is unemployed. So she's in kind of this really weird limbo state. She's looking for jobs. You know, she's seeing the media about herself just explode, and she can't get anywhere. She can't grab a hold of anything. And she's slowly coming into this realization that she really can't do anything without the She-Hulk, which is dubbed upon her. She cannot do anything unless she is that character, which is exemplified when she is finally offered a job. That's kind of after, of course, a nice family dinner, where I think it's her cousin who is mentioned carefully in the first episode. He's like a manager at Best Buy, I think, if I remember right. And not, by the way, that was kind of taken a little poorly. Guys, if you're a manager at Best Buy, those hours are long. Please be polite to your retail workers, like seriously. But side point, so she has this very awkward, weird family dinner. The next thing she knows, she's getting offered a job by the same guy who she was trying to sue in the first episode. So we're all full circle for a brand new department known as Superhero. It's the Superhero Attorney Office or Superhero Law. But there's one small caveat. She has to be the She-Hulk. So that's kind of where we are. And of course, Nikki, of course, has to come with her. That's the one big deal. But that's kind of where I'm sorry. Totally missed the big part. We'll talk about the end at the end when she gets her first client. So that's where we'll go with the review.
All right, well, I'm going to kind of spoil it because I'm going to be talking about the cast a little bit, but we'll give you our true thoughts outside of just these cast announcements. So thank you, Heather, with that breakdown. We'll talk a little bit more in our review on that story. But for the cast list and characters we have in episode 2, Superhuman Law, of course, Jennifer Walters, played by the brilliant Tatiana Maslany, who we know from Orphan Black fame before she got down with She-Hulk, is amazeballs. And if you weren't a fan before, I know you are now, because that is what I am. I didn't really watch Orphan Black, even though shout out to Webster Style, he was hyping her up for the longest time, but now I am a fan, and I now will be checking out Orphan Black. So again, Tatiana Maslany is returning for episode 2 as our title character of She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters. And the paralegal that she had to have when she joined this law firm is played by Ginger Gonzaga. She is Nikki Ramos. And again, for me, I wasn't familiar with Ginger's work before this, but I'm now a super fan of hers. And I love that she is Filipino. So, my love for my people as a fellow Filipino, I'm all about me some Ginger Gonzaga. And we'll be copying that Nikki Ramos Funko Pop when that drops in conjunction with She-Hulk as we get those She-Hulk Funko Pops, because she is getting one. And I just love that we have a Filipino in She-Hulk and getting a Funko Pop. So I got to put that out there as well. Mad love.
Just to tag in, we get even more representation if you don't know the character out of her. So there's going to be more reasons that she's going to have all the shout outs. So
yes, I love it. So again, Ginger, Tatiana, and of course, Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo. Only a little bit of a scene in this particular
At the
episode, but it ties to some of the events that happened in that first episode on a really quick phone call because she had to get her blessing from him. But makes you really excited of where we're going to see Bruce Banner, Hulk, Mark Ruffalo in the future. That was a dangling thread plot that I can't wait to dig into. I know, Heather, you're going to be excited. We're all excited when we're going to see him again, but we get that payoff from the first episode into this episode of what's going to happen with him, and I just can't wait. I'm excited. Other characters, big characters that we get, as we stated, we go off to a family dinner. Jennifer Walters' family. We get to see more of the Walters family. Elaine Walters is played by Tess Malice Kincaid. We meet Aunt Melanie, played by Candace Rose. Nicholas Cirillo, who plays Cousin Ched. Michael H. Cole plays Uncle Tucker. And the big character that really I picked up and my eyes were like, uh-oh, is that? Because I was a huge Perfect Strangers fan as a kid growing up in the 80s, 90s. Playing the father, Morris Walters, is Mark Lynn-Baker, one of the leads in Perfect Strangers. Heather, were you excited when you saw that? Were you a fan, first off, of Perfect Strangers, or is that before your time?
No, I love Perfect Strangers. So when we saw him, I know I said it before, but my husband and I watched the screeners together so that we could enjoy them, and we were both like,
awesome, right?
Dad was perfect.
Yes, and just amazing, and such the caring father. Like, there's a moment, we'll get into it, a little bit in the review, and I think we're doing good on spoilers, and it's not too spoilery, but again, you should be watching the episode, and we actually stated that we're gonna do spoilers in this because these are recaps after you've watched that episode as well. So I just thought it was such a great addition. Anyway, I'm getting into review part, but I love that father moment. I just really love. He was like, "Hey, I know you're putting on front where it was family. Hey, how are you? I'm good. But he was like, yo, come on, separate family. How really are you? Let's get that dialogue. And I love that. And so beautiful and such in character, because he was the normal one in Perfect Strangers. And it was like a continuation of that character that we know and love. Again, shout out to Mark Lynn-Baker. You love to see it, and playing our dad in this show, episode, and series, and can't wait to see him more. I love it. Again, big shout outs to Mark Lynn-Baker. Biggest character, and then we'll lead into the review of this episode. Super excited to see Emil Blonsky, aka Abomination, aka the amazing Tim Roth, is in this episode and is the first client of our She-Hulk in this new super powered firm that she is now a part of. So let me now bring us both up on screen. Those are our characters. That is our cast. I know we're going to talk more about Emil Blonsky. So let me toss it back over to Heather. Let's give our reviews, our thoughts on this episode of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law.
To me, this is really where the series truly takes its first step. The first episode was fun. It gave us direction, or gave us a preview. But it took its first step as a true show, as her show. But it also placed itself firmly into the MCU with this episode. We got to not only figure out where we are in the timeline, but it gave us a point where Jen can be everywhere at once within the universe. And that was honestly one of my favorite points of the episode. What about you?
I completely agree. Really well done. Again, shout out to Jessica Gao, the writer, Kat Coro, if I'm pronouncing her name right, the director. Really well done episode. They are. I hate that I'm always gushing. I don't hate that I'm gushing because y'all know I'm a Marvel fan, but I'm gushing literally because I think they're just doing an immaculate job with the task at hand, introducing a character that most people don't know and handling it beautifully. I think with episode 1, we learned about Jennifer Walters, the person. We gave some background story of how she got her powers. Well, we showed it, but we kind of like established this character for those that may not be familiar with her. And then with this episode, we now open her up. We now concentrate on the lawyer aspect. I want to say is particularly in this episode, which I love. That's why it's Superhuman Law. And I think is really well done and makes you know why this is the lawyer show, and
it's
not
procedural. It's a
procedural, and that she wants to be a lawyer. Like, there's a ton of superheroes. I don't need to be one of those other superheroes. Yes, I have these powers, but I'm a lawyer first, you know? And I think they did that with this episode and just kind of created that and showed how that struggle is for all of us who look for jobs and getting a job, landing that job, keeping that job, that we can all relate to. So I think it was so well done. You know, when you can relate to a character, you get ingrained and you want to follow that character. And I think they did such a great job with this episode. To me, that was a highlight. And then we can relate with that. So we talked on how she calls Bruce like, okay, so I took the job, but then shit, my first client is this person that wanted to kill a family member. Like, I don't know if I can do that. So let me call my family member who was like almost killed by this guy and like get that sign off. You can relate that on so many levels. I just think it was handled so beautifully. So again, I just shout out to Kat Coro, and if again I'm mispronouncing the last and Gao, or is it Kat? No, Kat Coro is the director. Stephanie Gao,
Jessica Gao.
Jessica Gao. You know, bravo. That's all I gotta say. She's killing it. She's nailing this character. I think she's doing a great job with it, and I'm loving what I'm seeing as a fan.
This, to go back to our first episode, this show really emphasizes that it's created by comic book fans. And you and I both mentioned that there's no such thing as a true fan. The only true fans that are out there are people who do not gatekeep other fans from loving something.
Let's go.
But you can tell that these characters and these stories are created by people who love the characters, the goods and the bad. Some of them are kind of brought in from a wayward time. But one of the things that really points out, and I mentioned this in my original social media posts, I want no spoilers for the entirety, but one thing that really just shone through, especially in the first 4 episodes, since that's all we've seen, is the humanization of superheroes.
Yes.
And that really was just completely like blown up in this one moment. You have Tim Roth playing a character he is literally a military toy, but he's like, dude, I've just started my own cult. I'm fine. I'm writing poetry.
Haikus. Oh, so good.
I am a great human. I apologize. I did my 12-step program and I want to be a normal person again. And then you have Jen, who's like, I'm okay with being a superhero, but I don't want to be. I want to be a human. I want to do what I am passionate about, which is law. I want to be a piece of my family. So if I have to make a decision that could impact my family, I want to include my family. There is literally nothing more human than that. And that it gives us a whole new level that we have never seen before in the MCU of humanization of superheroes. We have seen characters be human, but we have never felt it so much in ourselves that we see it. And that's really what the show is so good at doing. And you really, really start seeing it in episode 2.
Totally. Love it. Abomination. So what did you think of that introduction? First client, that whole, his new cult that he wants to be a part of. I'm trying to also be careful because we do know the next 2 episodes, and how that's going to be a little bit, but just
trying to keep it minimum. Of course. One of the things that, of course, that was suggested at the beginning, Emil is saying, I have not been out. I can get out, but I have not been out. I could use my pool. I could just break my damn way out, but I won't do it. And he's telling that, and he's promising that. And one of the great things about the show is it places us firmly in the MCU, because we see at the end, not the very end, not the fun extra episode, but at the end, that he is fighting Wong in that scene from Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Yes. So it provides us if anything, it provides us a solid location, but it also gives us just a really fun look at a character that we couldn't take seriously in the first, and when you saw him in it was
Incredible Hulk.
Was it Incredible Hulk? I can never
Yeah.
remember. We've
Yeah.
had so many Hulks that have failed miserably. I love all of our Hulks, but
Yeah.
we've had so many Hulks.
Yeah.
It was nice to see him back, and it was nice to look at him in like this just kind of fun, I have done my time, I am over it kind of way.
Yeah. I didn't particularly care for him. I thought it was great casting, but then The Incredible Hulk was in such a great film. It didn't utilize him well.
No.
And now he's amazing. It just makes you like wish that was better in a way, you know, like but then I don't think we would have gotten the character elements. Like you said, he's gone through so much, and now we feel the feelings that he's expressing in this because we kind of knew what that was in that experience from that and how bad it was. And so I well done. Bravo.
To tag in real quick,
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk was a fun movie. There were poor moments, and the use of an actor like Roth was devastatingly underutilized.
Correct.
I was just like, to be fair, there were positives about that movie that really exemplified who Hulk was. If you have not seen it, even though it is not the current Hulk, which they made a joke about in the first episode, where they said, I am a completely different person from who I am today. I would still totally suggest you watch that movie.
Yeah. Well, they said it in this episode too, when he was on the call. Like, go ahead and take the job because that's a different person than I was.
It was this episode where it's, I'm a completely different person than I am today.
Yeah.
It's just like when what's his face? In Iron Man, when he goes Don Cheadle.
When
Don Cheadle's character, he's like, I'm here now, you just gotta deal with it.
Rhodes. Yeah. Yes. Because he was played by my other guy that I'm forgetting right now. But I feel you on that. And I will say, not to shit on all the Hulk films, although they could have been better. I actually enjoyed the first Hulk, even though a lot of people, it was, I had to kind of sidetrack a little bit, but I could see what Ang Lee was going for, kind of a Frankenstein-esque approach, but it's so much better now, though. We got people that really know the material now that are writing this content, which is I'm so very appreciative of. And Jessica Gao is killing it with She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Any negatives about this particular episode? Was there anything you didn't like in this episode, Heather?
I would have liked to see her push a little bit more as against the superhero tropes. Instead, what we got, and I'm going to kind of say this. One of the things that I loved about the show is that you see you see someone who we are when we're in that middle of the road, can't find a job kind of place. But it also got really down really hard. And one of the things that is always said, it's kind of escapist. And I felt, as someone who is currently like in between places at the moment, I felt like, oh damn, this hit way too hard.
Yeah.
So like a little less, but other than that, this was a really fun episode. I actually loved it a whole lot more than I did the first. Most of my concerns from the first episode were completely wiped out by this one. So
I feel you.
What about you?
I'm trying to. I kind of was thinking I'd give myself time by asking you first, but I completely just am gushing in every facet. So I'm trying to think of a negative. Not enough Ginger Gonzaga. There was a good amount of Ginger Gonzaga. I think I'm dying for future episodes. I want more of this cast. And I think, as I said on the last one, like we got Titania a little bit. Jamil, you know, we saw her in first episode. I love her. I'm like waiting for more of her. This, we didn't get any of her at all. And I can't speak to the next couple of episodes yet, but I will. But
2 days. We can talk about it in 2 days.
You know, I'm waiting for that. And so I will say that's just an underlying negative for me, if there's any negative right now, because I just think, you know, for the setup of what they're doing per episode, you know, we had Jennifer Walters that they did in episode 1, making people familiar with this character. Here we get the attorney, which they did outstandingly. and creating that element and as you said to your point, making a superhero feel more human, that we can all relate to a lot more, and have those kind of issues and struggles. They're just killing it, and I love it, and I can't wait to talk about episode 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. I want more of this cast and this crew of this talent behind the scenes. I think they're doing an outstanding job. They keep on raising their level. DC has a lot to catch up with, but I don't think they will, because they got bought out by Discovery and Warner and everything, and that's enough shit talk right there. But hey, they're going to be a long time before they get up to speed. So thank you, Marvel, for filling that id as comic fans and giving us this content, because it's going to be a long time for a DC Comics fan.
Just saying, though, for DC Comics fans, even though we were supposed to be talking about Marvel, y'all have just a couple more days to watch Sandman to make sure that we get a season 2. So
I'm saying, yo, real talk.
Sure y'all get that.
Yeah.
not to tag in, but hey, comics support comics.
Yes.
Go buy comics, because that's the only way that we're going to keep all of this fun content. To sidetrack back, though, one of the very interesting things about this show, and I don't know about if you've heard this. I was at dinner the other night with a couple of friends, and they're just like, I am MCU'd out. Like, I am really just MCU'd out. There's so much content. And it's really unfortunate.
I don't understand that.
I personally don't get it. Like, the last 3 series.
No one's making you watch these things, like what?
And so I don't want to bring this down. Like, I actually want to make this into a positive. What's really unfortunate about those statements is that great shows, really fun and silly and goofy shows like this, with a lot of passion, are being passed up. Guys, don't pass up on this. One, don't pass up from promo pictures. Trust me, it's better. 2, you're missing out on some really great theoretical content, some really human content, some really great comic content. Like, between Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and She-Hulk, we've gotten the honestly most comic book content that we have in the entirety of the MCU.
Hell yeah.
So.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I cannot understand, like you, Heather, I cannot understand those people. No one's forcing you to watch this. For a very long time before that, there was nothing. Here we finally have something that is of this genre, but no one forces you to make you watch that genre. So, like, I just don't understand those statements. It doesn't make any sense to me. So it's just now another genre that's out there that people can do. But before that, there was no real superhero genre done well like that. So yeah, I don't understand.
Once you try to turn it into a positive, just it's more like guys, trust us.
Yeah,
we're here for you. We wouldn't tell you this without actual feelings.
Yeah.
Like, it was something that really bugged me the other day. I'm like, guys, why aren't you watching this show? It is so the amount of puns in this series alone will get you to be happy for the rest of your days. I promise.
Yeah. I'll leave it alone, but it's just sad because when people do say things like that, then they forego seeing this because of those kind of statements. And it's just, I hate that happens. And obviously you hate that as well. So anyway, yeah, go check it out. Heather, we're going to be talking She-Hulk through and through as the season comes along. But Superhuman Law was amazeballs. I definitely, as obviously 2 thumbs up, 4 thumbs up. I'm sure you got yours up as well.
2 extra large, 6.7, 6'7" thumbs up.
Yes. So can't wait to talk about this next episode. So Heather, if the people want to reach out to you and talk all about Superhuman Law, episode 2, She-Hulk Attorney at Law, how can they reach out to you?
You can message me about any She-Hulk questions, especially comic book related, or if you are looking for where you pick up She-Hulk comics, you can message me on Twitter at NerdIsAHeather or on Instagram and TikTok at HeatherIsANerd.
There you go. Show her love, send her some follows, some subscribes, and reach out with those questions. I know she'd be happy to help. And for me, the same. I want to talk all about She-Hulk because, I'm gushing. I love it. I want to know more about Tatiana Maslany, who I'm now a fan of. If there's something other than Orphan Black that I should check out, and Ginger Gonzaga with her career, I love it. I'm all about it. So the legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, and IG. Of course, here at the NRW, Not New Release Wednesday, with me and Heather and the whole squad, where nerds rule the world. That is our feelings on Superhuman Law. Let us know how you feel in the comments below. Bye.
Bye.